I was only 11, left by myself. Each holiday season while my mom and dad partied with their buddies. Now at 25, I delivered the monologue I'd rehearsed all my years. Original post. I discovered at about 12 that my folks enjoyed fooling around, if that's what you'd name it. I didn't grasp the full meaning until roughly 14. Still, I stayed silent and concentrated on my own path, left home at 18, and we've hardly connected since. I grew extremely unsure of myself. I faced challenges in romance and with women, staying solo through much of my youth. Mom and Dad appeared as this flawless pair, admired by all. All I recall is the isolation I endured back then, too scared to voice my struggles to them. They constantly grinned and seemed to share an ideal union while seeing others, as I sensed deserted and wretched. They'd head out on weekend escapes and leave me solo for numerous weekends, seldom including me on trips, and even when they did, I'd end up on my own. I battled sadness and began therapy sessions, plus I'm taking meds right now. I simply sensed I held zero value to my parents, seeing no cause to chat with them anymore. I haven't marked the holidays with them or stayed home since 19, since I carry only painful recollections from that house. I just sensed I was a burden. Unsure what steps to take, my feelings are chaotic. I doubt they realize my sadness battles. Update 1. I attempted sharing this before, but additional events unfolded, so I added them too. I chose to pen a note, but used it as a guide for my words to them instead. I drafted the note and merely intended to slip it into their box and let them absorb it. But after countless years, I required the face-to-face, so I did. I visited home, and lo and behold, Dad and Mom hosted a pal, the lady I'd encountered days prior. Let's name her Claire. They sat in the lounge, chatting casually. I requested Claire kindly to exit, as I needed privacy with my parents. She agreed and departed. My parents sensed I had matters to address, and they didn't resist. Turns out they discussed me, and Claire visited out of concern after I brushed her off recently when we crossed paths. I settled with my parents, holding the note I'd composed, and they grasped I had plenty to express. The entire scene felt odd. I came across like an attorney arguing a case, laying out a 40-minute accusation of my parents' faults. I covered it all, the solitude I endured, my sadness struggles, my therapy visits, antidepressant use, feeling from age 11 that I was always an obstacle, that I never counted to them, that outsiders always ranked higher. How Claire, who was 25, my current age, when she began visiting you, actually showed more concern than you. How you, Dad, scolded me for botching the washer settings while you were gone. I was 11 and clueless on its use, and I volunteered to scrub them manually, which I did. I faced teasing at school, was shy in crowds, friendless, isolated at both school and house. I was 11, managing weekend solitude even though the holidays felt strange and uneasy. I recall spotting families illuminating trees on our block, seeing moms, dads, and their little ones. But you too attended your holiday bashes, only appearing home on the actual day, and I truly sensed deserted even then. I hold zero warm memories or any sense of connection, and now you question why I've gone quiet for 4 years. I don't recognize you, and you never tried knowing me. Outsiders always took priority. When I learned and comprehended your lifestyle, I grew even angrier. Why did that outweigh me? How is it just that you're content while I'm isolated and distressed? It's unjust because you caused this. I've passed my childhood isolated, my youth isolated, and now my 20s isolated. So far, I've never dated seriously because I battle trusting folks and have no clue how to bond deeply. You posted a snapshot of me on social media, one rare family shot from my early days. Claire and your other lady friend commented on my adorableness and what a wonderful clan we seemed. Spot anything in those images. I never grinned. Why did you bring me into this world anyway? Clearly, I served as your display piece to boast to others about being superb guardians. Your social pages honestly nauseate me. Dad tried interjecting. Mom appeared shocked with tears streaming. I rose and exited, and that concluded it. I never raised my voice or hurled insults. I stayed remarkably composed. I truly felt detached strolling away, yet also much freer. I dropped my extra key to their spot and headed to my own place. Mom's been messaging and ringing me. I believe they're both grappling for words to respond. I just insisted they erase my photos from their social accounts, which they did. They no longer get to fake being stellar parents to everyone. I reject being a showpiece. So that's the fresh info. Still sticking with my counselor or might seek a fresh one. Update 2. Just sharing a quick follow-up and thanking everyone for the feedback. I opted to change counselors, and the new one's superior to the previous. Still handling nerves and sensing deep isolation at times, but pushing through each day. Held a lengthy chat with my mom, who actually dropped by my spot. She and I conversed nearly 3 hours. I chose not to attack her, opting instead for raw truth, detailing my life's path and how I'm tackling various issues. It was as open as possible from me, essentially revealing my current state. Mom hadn't fathomed the depth of it, and she simply embraced me. Not sure the reason, but that eased things. She wasn't certain how to reply to it all, and I don't fault her. She suggested returning home briefly, particularly for the holidays. No need to linger solo in your flat. I said I'd mull it over. Mom seems to have finally grasped my long-term suffering, and her acknowledging that is, I suppose, what I truly craved, like she finally understood. So yes, advancement, I think. Still uncertain on what's ahead, still sense deep indifference, and my nerves sometimes overwhelm me. With days I plunge very low like existence feels pointless. But I suppose it's progress in the right path. This is a reshare forum. I am not the original poster. Story 2. Am I the jerk for severing ties with my parents since they intend to bequeath nearly all to my challenged sibling? Original post. My 24F sibling, 32M, is a flop at independence. He's never been sharp. He bombed classes, skipped university. He attempted 2 vocational programs, welding and auto repair, but essentially dropped out of both. He staffs a fuel stop now. My sibling and I are our parents' sole offspring. They handled us fairly even-handedly until grown-up years. They always stressed self-reliance, denying funds for university or extras. I enlisted in the forces at 17, earned an associate's during service, and my benefits funded my bachelor's. I'm pursuing my master's currently. My spouse and I purchased a residence, thriving nicely. My parents, though, completely covered my sibling's 2 vocational tries. They've handed him cash for overdue rent, endless advances. They enable his pretend maturity while denying my ceremony studies zilch. I don't mind much the lack of funds from them, but the gap in their handling of me versus him. Our parents hit their 60s now, not ancient yet, but both ailing seriously and likely won't last another decade. They lately began drafting their will, informing us they'd allocate nearly all to my sibling. Yet they wish me as their health decision-maker, estate overseer, etc. I instructed my parents to grant my sibling it all, and that I'm utterly finished with them. They urged me to show mercy, grasp that he's not very able, requiring their aid even post-departure. My mother had a clinic visit this morning, requesting a lift since she can't drive medically. I said ask her preferred kid or hire a cab. Tensions run high and bitter. My sibling phoned me to express regret and plead not to resent him, but I clarified I'm not upset with him. I'm furious at our parents for unequal treatment, and he bears no blame. Am I the jerk? I meant to add quotes around challenged. My mother labels my sibling challenged, though he's not. She's run tests for every learning issue imaginable. He simply possesses below-average smarts. She believes that qualifies as a challenge when it doesn't. AITA shows split views, but OOP drew varied responses, relevant comments. Commenter 1, he doesn't seem challenged to me. If he joined 2 vocational programs, welding and auto, just indolent. Likely, if he inherits, it'll vanish quick, then he'll turn to you for expenses. OOP. He's not challenged, but he's quite dim and lacks sharp judgment. He truly can't grasp budgeting at all despite lessons. How is OOP's sibling challenged? Health problems, etc. OOP, he's not, he's just dim. I meant to quote challenged. My mother calls him challenged, but tests show no real issues. My mother deems stupidity a challenge. Commenter 2, if his smart score is that low, he qualifies as mentally challenged. A score under 75 counts as mentally limited. It doesn't justify the hinted bias. OOP. When tested, mine was 131, I think, his around 80. Years ago, fuzzy recall. It surely topped the threshold for mental challenge, as they were shocked he cleared it. Did OOP intend to support her parents in old age? OOP. I initially planned elder care for them, but now I've resolved they'll enter a care facility if it's my call. I'm through, commenter 3, but they want me as their health decision-maker, estate overseer, etc. This is a massive demand, even if inheriting, expecting you to shoulder burdens, then guard your sibling afterward. It's a sibling residing with parents for their care. OOP. They avoid asking him. He's absent-minded and they couldn't count on him anyway. Update 2. Hello. So feedback on my share was somewhat divided. I met with my parents and wished to update and clarify some points. My sibling isn't truly challenged. He just has modest smarts, just over 80. You require under 70 where I reside to count as challenged, qualifying for AIDS. My parents spoiled him since childhood, as he lagged peers in brains, low confidence from that, and surrendered fast on tough tasks. He manages solo decently now. He jobs and covers bills mostly. He operates a vehicle, rooms with a flatmate. To the fresh info, I conferred with my parents and outlined how I've long sensed they favored him over me. They drilled into me that grown-ups must sustain themselves, solve issues independently. I enlisted at 17, knowing they'd evict me at 18. My parents offered zero aid beyond childhood basics. They skipped a ceremony present for my spouse and me, zilchels. Meanwhile, they boast $1 million+ in savings, rising from scratch. Yet they funded my siblings' 2 failed vocational stints, loaned him startup cash. They've rescued him from rent shortfalls. For me, it's less the cash, more the treatment gap. Plainly, they cherished and nurtured him more, ready to act for him, not me. But sans their backing, I've excelled anyway. I shared this with my parents, and they cut me off, overriding my words non-stop. They declared I'm owed zero upon their passing, that I'm grown and capable. They failed to grasp or value my view. They demanded I improve my conduct toward them, that it's improper to skip driving my ill mother to clinic or aiding her over funds. Finally, I quit voicing my emotions. They simply disregard. I stated they're grown, owed nothing from me. Just as they weren't obligated to aid me, I'm not bound to aid them. I urged total removal from their will. I'm unwilling as a state overseer, health decision-maker, nada. I seek zero from them now, and propose they exhaust their lifelong savings on premium care facilities, a pro-overseer since I'm done handling anything. My mother was stunned, questioning if I'd truly place my parents in a facility. I countered if they'd truly let their 17-year-old daughter enlist to face advances from elders just to study debt-free. My parents wept and shouted at me, and I departed. And that's it, I suppose. I sort of feel unburdened, like a huge load lifted. I have an amazing spouse, we own a fine home. I'm set to begin my master's and we're pondering starting a family shortly. I no longer fret over parent dealings. They're grown, can manage their issues just as I've handled mine. And yes, that's all. Unsure if it's the hoped update, but it is what it is. Too long, didn't read. My parents aimed to leave nearly all to my elder sibling because he's less thriving. I sense my parents always preferred him over me. My parents dismiss my emotions and ignore them, so I declared our bond ended. I want zilch from them now, and I'm advancing. Relevant comments, commenter 1. Frankly, I'd have severed at the ceremony, with $1 million saved, not even a $20 dish. Who attends empty-handed? OOP. I've joined many ceremonies, never without a present. It's impolite. Plus, my spouse's family covered the full event, and my stingy parents sparked major chatter. It was deeply shaming. Commenter 2, not the jerk, your parents are the jerks. I know this may sting, but you might need full silence with your sibling too. He'll handle their care, high chance they'll push him to seek your aid. Or your sibling may opt easy and facility them, which they'd fully earn. OOP. My sibling's not awful. He errs at times, but ultimately he's still my elder sibling, strives to treat me well. I wouldn't sever without cause. Commenter 3, not the jerk. I love how they claimed you're grown and owed no aid, and you flung those exact words back. Commenter 4. They declare no inheritance for you, yet expect elder rides, estate work when gone. Don't they see the absurdity? Commenter 5. They've long trampled you as their rug, unable to snap from believing you'll keep offering your cheek. Congrats on your fresh liberty. This is a reshare sub, I am not OOP. Thanks for joining and exploring this intense family saga with me. If you adore Reddit kin conflicts, remember to subscribe and enable alerts so you catch the next one.